Hi, I'm Jong-Eva, digital artist and illustrator. Today, I'm going to show you how to create 3D cup and plate in Nomad Sculpt. If you like this video, thumbs up and subscribe for more tutorials. First, open a new scene with the folder icon on the top menu bar. To make sure the grid is on, which is located at the bottom. Now you can change background color from little picture icon. I'll just go for dark gray to see the object better. Now add a reference image. Simply tap this image so you can import your own image. You can change the location of the image using slide bar, left and right, and give some opacity onto the image. I just delete this sphere and make a new one. Before we start modeling, let's check out some basic tools here. This is Gizmo, a controller that allows you to scale, rotate, and translate your mesh. You can move it around with the handle or move it to the certain direction with the arrow. Pinch with 2 fingers to zoom in and out. Tap with 2 fingers to undo. Or there is undo and redo icon at the bottom. You can always go back if you don't like the changes. Let me delete this mesh. We're gonna make a plate first with Lethe tool. Now see the front camera through trackball. Make sure the grid is on, pressing down this trackball to lock off. Select Lethe tool and more menu will appear on the left side of the bar and select curve. Now draw a line to represent a cross-section of the plate. Then Lethe tool builds a model based on the line. Unlock the trackball and check if the shape is good. I just want to make some fixed lines, simply dragging the dots to polish the shape. Before validating, it is better to edit the basic shape. Check the mesh if the shape is good enough. I think it looks good, and now we are moving on to a cup. We can make the cup with the same tool, Lethe. Lock up the viewport before draw the cross-section of the cup. Polish the silhouette of the cup. And check how it looks. And now I'm going to name the object. Before validating, I want to check if the shape is good. I want to make the bottom slightly larger than the opening. Use the spline tool to create a clean and smooth line between the dots. Let me adjust the shape to make it look more natural. Once you validate, you won't be able to edit anymore. And now we validate this to sculpt, paint it. Let's make handles. There are many different ways to make them, but I will go with tube tool today. Select tube icon from the right and curve from the left. The end of the shape looks weird because snap is on. Let's switch it off and draw a curve again. Refine the curve. This yellow dot allows you to adjust the radius of the tube. We need same thing on the other side. So let's mirror this. Use the gizmo to place this handle in the right position. It will be easier when viewing from the top. One edge of a handle sticking out, we need to fix this. Let's go to the front view. It is easy to fix it from the profile view and check if it looks good now. Let's name the handle object. We can parent one to another by dragging handles to cup. Then now we can move them all together. Place the cup in the middle of the plate. Let's add some resolution before going to the next stage. This subdivide button will increase the number of polygons by 4. It creates a node to show how many divided on the mesh. And do the same on the handles and plate. Now we can see that the squares have become smaller on the surface. Next, we're gonna make an indent area in the middle of the plate using mask. Hide all objects except the plate. Select mask from the right and mirror on the left. And draw a circle in the middle. And invert the mask. Now select the gizmo on the right, then scale it down slightly and move the area down a bit. Go back to the mask and clear the mask. It looks a bit rough on the surface now. Select Smooth tool from the right and smudge that area. And now it looks much nicer. Let's show all objects. And place the cup on the indent area we just created. Change the size of cup if it is needed. Now the mug set, the wood plate, looks good now. Now we are creating a backdrop for rendering. Add a plane from scene, primitive, and scale it up enough to cover around the cup. I just cloned this one. Use Gizmo, rotate the plane more than 90 degrees and move it to the opposite side of the camera. Name them backdrop. Now we are adding a face to the surface of the cup. Bring a new sphere from the scene and scale it down. Just make sure it is the correct hierarchy, ensuring it is not placed under the mirror group, and validate it. We are making simple sculpting with the moving tool from the right and turn on mirror from the top bar. You can change the shape by simply dragging the mesh in different views. Now the object as nose. And this sphere is going to be an eyeball. Adjust the size and shape, then place on the surface next to the nose. Apply symmetry for the other side. Now validate the mesh and the instance shows up and hit confirm. Name the object as eyeball. I'm giving black color onto the second eyeball for the dark part. It helps to model eyes much easier. It is hard to see the two meshes overlapped each other, so it helps to check them in different angles. Scale the black eye to shape the eyeballs. Adjust the size and location can be a bit different facial expressions. To play around the black part, no worry. If we make mistakes, we have the undo button. It is important to name the object to find the right object later without confusing. Now validate all the parts when everything looks good. Also, ensure that the outline is clean and verify the correct hierarchy. I am making a mouth like a cat using tube from the right side of the toolbar and curl from the left side. To change the view and check if the shape looks good. Rotate it toward the surface and position it on the nose so it connects to the bottom of nose. And use tube again, path from the left side of the toolbar. Draw the path and turn on symmetry and validate them. Polishing the shape and make sure it is cute. Again, name all the parts. This is going to be a small eyebrow and set symmetry for the other side. And this is cute chicks. Rename it as chicks. And now ready for colors and shading. Click Stroke Painting icon on the left side toolbar, just right under Gizmo. Select an object first, choose a color from the grade, then hit Paint All button to apply the color. Do the same thing to cup and handles. And pick the colors for the nose and cheeks, other parts too. For eyeballs, black color has been added already. For the eyeballs, use shiny materials that resemble glass, reflecting light. From the top bar, make sure the size of the backdrop's big enough to cover background. Now we are setting a camera view to render. You can save the camera viewport by clicking the Add View button after positioning the object in the camera angle. It will be saved under the camera tool. Name the camera we just created. Now hit the sun icon and switch off environment light. Add a light by clicking this Add Light button. This will be the key light, which is major effect on the object. Position the light using Gizmo. You can rotate and move around. I increase the intensity of the light up to 2 using sunlight. I make shadow more softer here. And naming the light. Now let's check out materials before rendering. Select an object and open this icon on top menu bar. Material properties will be appeared. You can select what materials you want to use for each part. Default is opaque, which looks plastic looks. Subsurface gives more translucent effect, like skin and leaf, which light can go through. I want this cup looks more ceramic. So I change all parts from opaque to subsurface material. In general, subsurface material looks much pretty, but it is very expensive, takes more memories. You can change the subsurface depth. It depends on the thickness of the object. You can set the number for nose much smaller compared to the cup or plate, for example. Now I try to turn on the environment light as fill light. Now you can see more brighter and we have clear shadow from the key light. Now I'm adding some colors to the backdrops. It can be just white, but I like some colors on the background and it looks more cozy and interesting. And now I open the light tab and select the key light. Adjust the intensity as the environment light. Let's move on to the post-processing. The camera aperture icon on the top menu bar. When I turn the global illumination on, it gets brighter. Let me turn down the key light and environment light a bit. Nomad Sculpt made very simple and easy setup for rendering. In this menu, you can use many custom options like quality, reflection, depth of field, temporal, anti-aliasing, etc. It is pretty handy to use by checking on and off, but keep that in mind, it might take more memories and slow down or crash your tablet with many options, but I prefer to keep it simple. It is because of easy to debug and it helps to save memories. For quality, let me use the numbers already set up by default and max samples on and full resolution on. Ambient occlusion is about shade between object and geometry. Depth of field, you can make blur on the far or close from the camera. You can tap the screen. You can create focal point within this function. I will skip bloom for this cup, but keep tone mapping. Tone mapping and color grading are very useful, like color correction in Photoshop. Now getting ready to final step, rendering. Set the camera view you want to render. Now finally rendering. Tap folder icon on the top Open Project menu. Before render, in case better to save this file, scroll down to find render, and there are some options about final size. You can render still image as you need, and hit Export PNG button, then render starts. The numbers shows the progress of render. When the render is done, you can save it on to your iPad or iCloud. Before finishing, I want to add some more shiny on the surface. If you want to select any color already applied on the surface, go to the stroke painting. Use Void tool and pick the object color from the surface. Then the information shows up here. I just removed the roughness. I reduce roughness up to 0 and hit Force Paint All. Apply to the object you want to change. Now it looks better to shiny on the surface of the cup. Now save the file to update, and let's go through rendering again. If you want to render Turntable, go to Interface menu and Debug. Scroll down to find GIF Turntable. You can export GIF Turntable. It is not so high quality, but quick and dirty, just convenient. This is the final render and turntable. I hope this tutorial is helpful for you. If you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe for more tutorials. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you in my next video.